Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Today I want to talk about how to sustain motivation, because we have 7 days of this sprint coming on. People start gangbusters. I weighed, I measured, I did this, I did that. I've got my bone broth, I've got my this, I've got my that, I've got everything going. And by Wednesday, they're going, well, really, do I want to do this? And oh, please stay with it, is what I would say. Because at the end of 7 days, boy, are you gonna be surprised. It's really amazing what happens. But there's different parts of the equation. Read the thing. Hydration is so important. So is your sleep. So is your movement. All of this adds in. But motivation, this is what motivation says in the dictionary. It's reasons for behaving a certain way. And that's what the dictionary says. But the psychological reason, if you're going to go into the whole psychology of it, it says that motivation is biological, it is emotional, it is social, and it is cognitive. In other words, it's stuff that we think about, it's what we put our emotions behind, it's how we present to our social circles and what we tell them that we love and need and want, and it's what we think about. It's what we think about. Yes, I want to. No, I don't. We have this thing going on back and forth in our brains so much, don't we? A lot of times we do. So what I want to do is say that motivation is a desire to act a certain way to get a certain result. That's what it is. And I want to help you today to create a loop, because we have plenty of those negative loops, don't we? You know what I'm talking about with the negative loops. Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. Oh, man, I wish I had done it. Now I feel bad about it. I can't ever do anything right. You know that loop? Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-boom. Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-boom. Isn't that just dreadful? Doesn't that just take you down where you don't want to go? Well, we have a way to fix that. We do have a way to fix that. And it's to create a different loop. You know, we've talked about the carousel of crazy, going around and around, up and down, going nowhere fast, and just really not doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, all of that. That's a negative loop. But a positivity loop, when you create your own positivity loop, you create and manufacture your own motivation. How important is that? What if you could flip and deflate and take your focus off that negativity loop and instead go, I'm going to create this new loop. I'm going to do something different instead. Because we've proven over and over again what not to do, right? I've oftentimes said, hey, I am the poster child of what not to do. Well, we all are in some way or another. We all have these negativity loops. But when we recognize them, we can jump over and say, you know what? I'm going to practice this loop instead. Get off the treadmill of negativity and pop on to a different loop entirely. Something that is more like an escalator, because it's going to get you to where you want to go. It doesn't just loop. It gets you to a place that you want to go. That's the big difference. So one of the things about that really works with motivation, get this, it's feeling good. It's feeling good. And more of that feeling good gives you more of that. How do you like that? When you reap what you sow, you get more of what you want. That's right. There you go. Oh God, that's so good. Get off the carousel of crazy and ride the Ferris wheel of fabulous. Hello. Thanks, Sarah, for that one. You might be hearing that again because it's true. There are pinnacles, there are all kinds of this. And how do you feed this? How do you feed the machine? How do we feed it so that it keeps on going? Well, there's several different ways. I'm going to use a really good, you've probably heard this before, example, and it's Marla's. It's Marla's when she was talking about just shining her sink. That's all she had to do, because that's one of my tips. Number one is keep it small. Don't keep it so complicated. Don't make it so huge. Don't overwhelm yourself. Go with something that you know that you can do. One little thing, just start there. Just say, what the heck, I'm just gonna do it. Because I can't do the nutty stuff that I've always done because it's never worked. Hello? It has never worked. And when we keep trying to do the same thing that has never worked over and over again, just think, okay, but just this once, that's too little. I've got to do it this way. That is when we start getting in our own way. You know, we start analyzing something that we haven't even done yet. Have you noticed that? What the heck is that? What the heck is that? Oh, Mimi, we're here for you, love. We're here for you. That's our lovey Mimi. Keep her in prayer, y'all. She needs us. But that's what we need to do, is we need to drop into this place of understanding that this one little thing that we do is going to start a fire. It's going to start a fire. We played that song when we were doing our vision boards. It's just one spark and it's an explosion. It's the truth. That's how the whole darn thing works. So we want to feed the good with the feel good. We want to start our motivation off with one thing that we know is going to start something. I remember very clearly first hearing Marla say, it started with that shiny sink. And then when it went to the shiny sink, suddenly the countertops got cleaned off. Suddenly everything got put into the dishwasher. And what do you know? You got a clean kitchen. So if we start with this overwhelming thing of like, I've got to get the whole house done, which I have been doing, you know, with all of our crazy stuff, because we've been also doing renovations, living in the house, and that makes it a little bit difficult and a little hard. But, you know, rather than sitting there complaining, rather than sitting there and saying everything is just a disaster, I can clean up one thing. I can put some stuff away from one area. I don't have to do it all at one time. That little bit is motivating. That little bit will help me to keep that spark going, because it's like a relay race. We keep passing it on to the next thing, and then we pass it on to the next thing. We stop, we give ourselves a pat on the back, and we say, we're doing this thing. It can't be about the whole. It has to be about the thing, the step, the habit, the part of your routine, your ritual, whatever it is. The one little thing needs to get all the kudos in the world, because we have to keep the spark alive, the spark flickering, so that we can keep lighting it up and passing it on and passing it on. We don't want that light to go out. Amen? That's how it is. So when we understand this too, we also understand that motivation is an inside job. It doesn't come knocking at your door. Hey, it's me, motivation, let me in. You know, it doesn't come down from the heavens like manna. It doesn't suddenly just pop up in your inbox. Hey, it's me, motivation. Open this email. It's not that way. It comes from inside. It comes from your desire to do something. Now, it might be your whole house. It might be your whole body. It might be your whole life. But start with something small. Start with something that you can have a victory over today. Because when you start with that, remember, you keep the spark alive. You keep the spark going. And you can start lighting these fires all over your life and getting things going in exactly the direction that you want to. And I will also say that, you know, we have to be looking at it daily, bravely, every single day. Because it doesn't just, you know, it doesn't just show up, again, like I said, it doesn't show up day to day. We have to will it into our lives. We have to bring it into our lives on the daily. And how do we do that? Well, we use our Take Back Your Life planners. We did a whole workshop on that. We did a whole workshop on goal planning and all of that. That was on Saturday. And the thing that I want you to see is that like begats like, and other things piggyback and hold on to all the things that you're doing. They do, because it automatically starts. It automatically brings things in. You automatically start to see the things that line up with that original goal. And when we can have things lined up with our original goal, when we can see our way, like we were talking, for example, there's some personal development we want to do. We say, oh, I never have time to listen to a book or whatever, but we're sitting in front of a TV maybe and doing some of our crocheting or our knitting or whatever. That's a goal too. We want to do that and we want to be creative. Well, how about instead plugging into a podcast that you want to listen to or an Audible book that you want to? Look, boom, boom, two goals right there, simply by eliminating something that's sucking down your time. That's all. And we don't have to leave the room. We don't have to leave our family in the lurch. We can still be there, throw in the ear pods and just sit there and happily knitting, doing your thing. We have the ability to do so much more than we think. We're the ones putting ourselves in a box. Nobody's putting you in there. We put ourselves in the box and we don't think we can do it. I will also say it's not a matter of willpower. It's a matter of your environment. It is. Your environment sets you up for success. I'm a big time environmentalist. I really am. Get rid of the clutter. Get rid of the stuff that's in your pantry that's going to hold you back. Start looking and understanding that everything can be lined up to motivate you to do the right next thing. And when we're doing that, my word, have you noticed how wonderful that is? So a piggyback, for example, for one of my piggyback habits is I will empty the dishwasher while the coffee's brewing. That's a race. And then I have to get my 4-minute workout before I get the reward of that cup of coffee. I've banked 3 things out that need to get done first thing in the morning. And that all adds to a victory, a victory, a victory. Is that motivating or what? Yes, it is. And I have to concentrate and look back on it and say, yes, this is motivating. Yes, this makes me feel good. Yes, I'm ready for the next thing. This is how it all works. This is how the whole thing works. Thank you. Sarah is quoting me. She said, willpower is worthless. Environment is everything. And it's true. Because who wants to bite down hard on a stick and say, I can do it. I can do it. You know what? Set yourself up for an environment that supports the things that you want in your life. If you want to not eat junk food, don't have junk food in the house. If you want to start exercising, make an appointment with yourself to do it absolutely every single day. Like it is a doctor's appointment that you can't miss. If these are the things that you want, then these are the things that you can have. Set up your environment to do it. And not only is it a whole lot easier, not only can we just say goodbye to willpower, which is way overrated, but it's motivating too. When we see the thing, we do the thing, and we keep going, then we start to build the momentum of motivation. And wow, your head will explode at that point because things are now going past where we were. Things are now speeding past all those regrets and all that pain that we've had before, and we're doing something different. Now, you might get a fight from your brain. Your brain is always going to say, well, no, we always do this. Let's not change everything. That's the fear center in your brain. So just tell your brain, shut up. I'm in control of this. You are not. And keep going. And may I make a suggestion that you show up and have a community that is supporting you, encouraging you, helping you, and saying, yes, you can do it, girlfriend. Yes, you can. That's what we do in the Hot Melt Sprint. So I want you to get there. I want you to get into the sprint. I want you to do it because it'll change everything. And it's good for you. And next thing is I want to see you get the support and the encouragement and the help that you need. We are not lone rangers. We need one another. We need our communities. We need the women behind us. And we need to be connected and knowing that there's somebody there to catch us if we fall. Somebody who's got our back. Somebody who's not going to give you backhanded compliments or anything. They're going to say, I am so with you and I so appreciate you and I want to see you go further. Because when you have a community like that, you cannot fail. You cannot fail. You might cha-cha 2 steps up and 3 steps back and maybe 4 steps up and a 2-step back. You might have a little back and forth, but you will not fail. If you promise me this, and this is a pinkies up, ladies, for those of you who are in my tribe, you know about this. Pinkies up is a salute of solidarity that we do not quit on ourselves ever. You're worth every moment of effort, every effort that you put on yourself. You're worth it. You are all worth it. So the next thing I would suggest that you do in order to keep your motivation going is to have some inspiration always in front of you. This is why I give you every week a quote of the week. We also have our lovely quote deck. Have you seen this, by the way, the quote deck? I'm just going to show it to you really quick. Bunch of different cards. I don't know. I think we have 52. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. George Adair. And then we send you, isn't this adorable? This little easel. You can find them at savingdinner.com/quote. And then you put it, look, right there on your desk. Isn't that so sweet? We did these because we are known for our quotes of the week, and some of them just absolutely light us on fire. I want you to have these. I want you to have this in front of you. I want you to set up your environment for success. For success. When you set your environment up for success, you're just going to keep feeding that. Those are the things that we want to feed. That's the garden we want to grow, is that. The last thing is I'm going to say to you is commit to it. Commit to it. You know, we commit to our spouses. We commit to our children. We commit to our jobs. We commit all the time. Commitment is something that we can do when we've made a decision to do it. Commit to the process of what it is that you're doing and watch the process become the joy. Because it's not so much getting to the other side of the line. It's not so much about the goal at the end. I promise you, that's a fabulous thing to have happen. But when you start to embrace the journey and embrace this motivation, embrace the people around you, what it is that you're doing, and that things are changing in your life, that's when the great appreciation is going to come. That's when your gratitude is going to swell in your beautiful self. And you're going to say, you know what? This is the way I want to live. This is how I want my life to look. And that's what this is all about. This is how you get the vibrancy that you seek. This is how you get the women in your life that you need. This is how you walk day to day, choosing the life that you want to lead and leaving behind all the rest of the garbage. You get to choose. You get to choose. Better yet, it's your decision. And when you decide this is what I want, by gum, you're going to get it done, aren't you? Okay, so there you are. Oh, that was quite a little sermon on the mount there. Thank you again for showing up. Thank you so much again, too, for sharing this broadcast, because when you share, you care. And when you're caring and sharing this with people who might need a little help, you're bringing people into our community that we can, again, turn around and support and turn around and give all of our good stuff that we've been getting, turn around and giving it back. We're reaping and we're sowing continually. I want you to be that person because that's who you are. I love you and I appreciate you so much. And thank you again for showing up. Thank you for sharing. Peace be with you. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.